Welcome to Interviews, hosted by Randy Goodman, Harvey Callis Real Estate, your real estate professional. Get to know our community, our businesses, products, and services that will elevate your life. Please welcome your hostess, Randy Goodman.
Hey everybody, I'm here with the beautiful Serena Bufalino, who is the founder of Help Heal Humanity, and I can't wait to hear all about that. Thank you, Serena, for being here with me.
Thank you, Randy, for having me. It's super exciting to be here.
Well, it's my pleasure, and I look forward to learning everything that you do. So first of all, tell us a little bit about what you do and what you're so passionate about.
All right. So yes, I am the founder of a non-for-profit charity called Help Heal Humanity. And how I got here was by being a special education teacher in the city of Toronto. So I taught specifically in partnership with the Ministry of Child and Youth Services. And all my students came to me from the ministry. And for 15 years, I was a teacher who got Toronto's most at risk off the streets, out of the classroom, and into the world. Nice. So building a charity was really never part of my life plan or life mission, but I, just like the students, when I saw really what was happening in the world, I guess it started to shift who I was and what I saw. And like I said, over time, I realized that the potential for me to go beyond my classroom is much bigger. And so now this is me transferring and transitioning out of the classroom and into charity.
Nice. So did you always, want to be a teacher?
Well, it's funny. I spent a majority of my elementary and high school days in the principal's office. You know what? I love to love. And I always had a big heart, and I was always very social. But in terms of academics, I didn't really thrive, especially in reading and writing. And of course, the way our academic and our curriculums are set up are strictly on reading and writing. So because I didn't thrive in that area, I spent a significant time getting kicked out of the classroom, right? The principal's office. And I really remember my principal saying to me one day in his office, he said, "Serena, you can do it. You're just, you're not motivated." And he said, "You're going to become what you hate." And I said, "Well, sir, that's a teacher. And I would never become." So it was really ironic that, again, like 20 years later, I became a teacher. But I believe I became a teacher because I wanted to become the teacher I always wish I had. Right. So grade in teachers college, when you're supposed to go out and do your practice teaching, I was given a grade 10 geography class. Wow. And I said to my professor, "I'm not really interested in teaching kids and academics in that capacity. I'd like to work with the kids that are kicked out of school." Right. And grade in teachers college, and he said to me, "Well, what do you mean, my professor?" I said, "I want to work with the kids that are on the streets or in the jails or in the hospitals, and the kids that are not really being serviced in a mainstream school." And again, this was 20 years ago. He said to me, "If that's what you want to do and you can find a principal to validate that that's what you're doing, I support you." And so my first practice teaching took place in a jail, in a facility for young offenders. Wow. And it was at that time and over time of working with these youth that my life changed, because I was inspired by the students, by their stories and their journeys, and then realizing that somehow, being in the classroom with them and teaching them how mainly, life skills, social skills, how to be human, how to be in relationships, and realizing that I can impact these kids and make a difference in their lives became a very healthy spiritual addiction for me.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. I love that. It's amazing. Like, you took on a position where a lot of people wouldn't, right? They don't want to focus on what they would consider problem kids, right? Or have to deal with behaviors or anything that comes with it. But nobody wants to get to the root of actually helping them and figuring out, why are they behaving that way? Why are they acting that way? Like, there's reasons, there's experiences that we have, you know, like, anyway, I was going to tell you a short story, but it's, you know, kudos to you for.
And I think that if the world and society knew their stories and knew perhaps why they were behaving in the way that they did, we would definitely be treating them better. And I think more people would be on that kind of train and that way of thought. Because again, it's their stories, their journeys that inspired me. And actually, when I went to go quit my teaching job, which was for me, I still question it sometimes, because that was a really big act.
Yes.
Of faith and courage. You know, I'm still young, and so I quit all my stability, all my structure, and something that I enjoyed and I loved and I was very passionate about doing, to venture off to start this charity, which is a very grassroots charity, because I know that my purpose is much greater than the classroom, and I didn't realize that until I started doing the work, you know. And it was my students that inspired me to go to Haiti. So basically, we used to feed the homeless every Tuesday in Toronto at the St. Felix Center. We used to volunteer on Thursdays at the Daily Food Bank.
Right.
And on Fridays, they were allowed to choose where they wanted to volunteer.
Okay.
So when they left my program, they left with a resume of 3 volunteer experiences and references, in the hopes that they could reintegrate into the world and get a job.
Beautiful. And I love that. I'm going to interject for a sec, because I love that, because it didn't have to do with being punished for a bad behavior. It had to do with helping to grow them personally, and something that they were opting to do versus being punished and having to do it.
Well,
right?
and that's what I say. That's, you know, one of the building factors of the charity is to be of service. My students, considered Toronto's most at-risk youth, went into the world, and when they were feeding the homeless and when they were putting together care packages, they started to see that perhaps their lives weren't that bad. Yep. And then all of a sudden, these special kids in need that the world looked at differently, all of a sudden they were starting to be recognized for their work. Yeah. And they felt like, you could see their self-esteem, you could see their posture, you could see everything about them shift and change, because now they were kids who went out into the world and were helping other people. So it really gave them purpose, it gave them perspective. And through that, you know, this is what they said to me. We were coming home from feeding the homeless on a Tuesday afternoon. It was actually Tuesday, May, I believe it was 10th, the year 2010. And that was the earthquake in Haiti. And when we were coming home from the food shelter, we were waiting at the TTC, and you know, the TVs show City Pulse 24,
right.
The current news, and there was the earthquake in Haiti. And I looked at my students and I said to them, you guys think you have it bad. There are kids in this world that would die for that stupid school and the stupid police and the stupid hospital and the stupid group home and all the things that they say that, you know, they don't like. And so when they found out that there were kids in the world that wanted to go to school but didn't have a school to go to, they looked at me and they said, Miss B, you tell us we can do anything. So we need to build a school for these kids in Haiti.
Nice.
And that is really how it happened. Again, inspiring my students, who inspired me that we can do anything. And thus began the Haiti School Building Project.
I love that. We never know how much we're really impacting people, right? We really don't ever know. Sometimes we never know at all. And sometimes you get to work with your students, you get to see a little bit of it, but really 10 years, 20 years down the road is when it's really going to show the impact of how you have affected their lives and changed it. You're doing such a beautiful thing. Thank you so much for doing that. And so tell us, I know you love giving back, and everything that you're doing is all about giving back. Are there any other pieces of the business or the puzzle that are part of this? Not just the working with youth part and giving back.
Definitely. This is an international, world, global issue, I guess, charity opportunity that involves everyone. I said, basically, if you're alive and you're breathing, you have purpose, you have meaning. And I think a lot of us don't really fully comprehend that. And a lot of times we are stuck in our own little bubble with our own little problems. And I was just as guilty as that, but it wasn't until I really saw what was happening in the world and realized that we have this ability to do something about it, especially what's going on in the world right now. It's pretty devastating all across humanity. And so somehow I am dependent, the charity is dependent on people stepping up and believing in what we're doing, and together as a country, as a nation, as a race, to use ourselves, use our gifts, our talents, our resources, use what's been given to us to literally help heal humanity, right? It's really a simple concept, but it doesn't get identified so much in the world. We're so busy about, building our empires and our homes and our families and our businesses that sometimes we just forget how to be a little kinder, spread a little bit more love. And that essentially is, the only way the charity can thrive is if people come together to support me. So I'm definitely not in this alone. This is something that is driven by the people who are listening. So this is why, Randy, having someone like me on your show is so important, because you're sharing your audience and your platform with me, and everybody who is listening. Really, it's my goal to try to have them come on board and not necessarily support the charity, but just learn how they can use themselves to make the world a little bit better.
Yeah, it's one person at a time. It's one movement at a time. It's one act at a time. It's, it's making that conscious change and making it happen, because not one person can do it by themselves, right? Which is why you've created the movement. I'm going to call it a movement that you've created, because you are, you're trying to take mass people with you along the journey versus us all doing it by ourselves, although at the same time we still need to be doing it on our own as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's a give and take on both ends, right?
Yeah.
And I always say sometimes I'm just the mediator between the donors and the communities that we're servicing, and without the donors and the communities, I cannot do my job, right? So my job is really strictly just being the representative and being kind of the gift between the two communities, but all the communities are affected and impacted, and definitely I need as many humans in the world to join the movement, as you would say. Yeah.
Absolutely. So with, I know you take the at-risk youth, you try to educate them through experiences and other educational methods. You go and volunteer and feed the homeless, you feed other people who are even more at risk, and then you also are helping people around the world. So you've gone, you're supporting Haiti there. You're doing quite a few things, but I know that's not all of it. Can you tell us a little bit more about what your organization is doing, so we get a broader picture of everything?
Definitely. The main component of Help Heal Humanity is inspiring and empowering youth, especially at-risk youth. We have successfully built and maintained a school in Haiti, in one of the poorest, roughest neighborhoods in Haiti. Nice. We have 121 kids in our primary school program. We also run a summer school program an after-school program, and feeding programs.
Wow. Okay.
So those are our main programs and initiatives. However, in order to keep that going, we need to raise the funds and the awareness. And this is where local businesses come on board. This is where, you know, restaurants come on board, businesses come on board. I'm a yogi, so my yoga community, and basically Help Heal Humanity has, you know, Dining for Humanity, where we do dinner events. We have Travel for Humanity, where we bring volunteers to Haiti to see the work that we're doing. We have Yoga and Fitness for Humanity, Music and Art for Humanity, where we ask artists and musicians to come together. And the main, what I'm hoping for is that every human being on the planet realizes that they have a unique gift, a unique ability. And if they can just share that gift and that ability one day with Help Heal Humanity and donate it to us so that we can raise the funds and the awareness to keep these programs going. So it's definitely international. And also the other really important aspect of who we are and what we do is, you know, we do events in Spain, we do events in Chicago, USA, New York, in Belize, and wherever we are hosting an event, we always give anywhere from 20 to 50% back to the local community.
I love that.
And we're always giving it back to at-risk youth in the local community. So wherever we are in the world, some of the proceeds are going to that country or that city, and then the rest are going to Haiti. And Haiti happens to be one of the poorest countries in the entire world. So this is how we chose Haiti, but you know, in the next coming years, I truly honestly believe that Help Heal Humanity will be in, you know, having schools in multiple countries. I foresee, you know, Africa, Kenya, perhaps India, and, you know, it would be beautiful for us to have enough funds, because that is really, at the end of the day, the only thing that is preventing us from growing and preventing us from having a bigger impact is having the funds to be able to do it, right? We have the heart, the time, the energy, but getting the funding is, you know, is a whole new process in itself.
Absolutely. And you're doing a beautiful thing. And I love how even, you know, you moving to different areas, you want to give to that area specifically, not just raising for the specific projects that you're working on. You want to help that local area as well. So I love that. It's all encompassing. It's holistic. It's amazing. So I love that. And thank you for doing that. And I want to do something for you. Even though this is going to stay on the internet forever, we still are waiting to celebrate our 10th anniversary Toronto Women's Expo, and hopefully it'll be in the fall. But I'd like to give you an exhibitor table so that you can share Help Heal Humanity at that event. So yeah, that'll be my gift to you, okay?
Thank you so much for that, Randy.
You're welcome.
It's sharing platforms like that, you know, and in the connections and in the partnerships, you know, that's how we grow. Today I was on the phone with the Haitian Special Olympics, and you know, their charity is starting to disappear because it's exceptionally hard for them to get funding. And you know, the thought of them losing their ability to have this program hurts my heart so much. So I want to do what I can to support them. And again, it takes partnership and leadership like Randy. That is an incredible gift. So thank you for allowing Help Heal Humanity to be part of that event.
That's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. You know, if I can give back in any way, then I will. So, yeah, so I love, you know, I love what you're doing. I love where your heart is, and you've turned it into a lifelong career, basically, right? To be able to help others. I love that. So thank you for that so much. I mean, thank you is nothing compared to what I would like to be saying, right? But how can people, like, what are the different options for people to help out or be part of it? What are the different options so they know?
So there's various ways. So there's you can sponsor, you know, you can get directly involved by sponsoring a child, by paying for books and uniforms and being directly connected to the kids that you are empowering. So that's one way. The other way is, again, to partner with Help Heal Humanity and do an event. So again, use your platform, use your business, use whatever gift you've been given, and us work together to raise funds and awareness about the charity and or a charity that you're interested in. So there's the volunteer experience, there's the sponsoring a child, there's partnering for an event together, and then just, building awareness. I said, that's key. Letting your networks know, letting your people know, going to our website, signing up for our newsletter, because truly, honestly, no matter who you are, there's something inside of you that has something to give and something to offer. So it's basically, we accept everybody and everything, right? Like I said, there's so many different extensions of who we are, and Help Heal Humanity is all beings everywhere. So you can get involved, and we need you to get involved, because it's our social responsibility, it's our social duty as humans to give back. And then again, to get involved, either raising funds, connecting to our projects, and or just raising awareness.
I love that. Thank you. And do you have, before we sign off, do you have any tips or suggestions for people? And it can have to do with anything, personal, professional, doesn't matter.
Yes, definitely. A spiritual practice is important, whether it's just walking in nature, taking time to be by yourself. I believe so many of us are doing what society has asked us to do. We're trying so hard to achieve so much, but I think a lot of times we need to step outside ourselves. And so that's where being of service and just going into the world and doing these random acts of kindness and spreading more love. It is those things that nobody's really driving and enforcing on people to do that will really impact and change not only your life, but the world. So my advice to everyone is to just try to step outside yourself. And also, I think once people become more aware, like we said, of the kids' stories, of the world, of the injustices, of of what is really happening, it kind of puts life into perspective for you and changes your approach on life. And to be able to be given that gift through experience of helping other, there's no amount of money that can give that to you. So again, maybe less focus on power and money and more focus on love and service would be my number one to everyone.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. So how can people reach out to you? Where can they find you?
You can find us at helphealhumanity.org, or you can email us at info@helphealhumanity.org.
Perfect. I love it. Thank you so much for everything that you do and for sharing with us and for spreading the word. I hope our audience will reach out and see how they can help your mission. And I look forward to hearing your successes with it. And thank you again for being on.
And I'll just say, just before we go, if it's okay, in response to COVID, like I said, our main focus at Help Heal Humanity is usually education and empowerment. Because of COVID, we've shifted our perspective and we've shifted our focus to nutrition. There are, millions of people dying in the world right now because they don't have access to food and water. So since COVID, we've created campaigns specifically to feed these families and children in need. So if anybody wants to join that campaign, they can go to food.helphealhumanity.org. And again, during this time of COVID, we could feed families most in need. So that's, that's the best that we can do given the global pandemic. And again, just spread love. So Randy, you are fantastic for inviting me, and not only inviting me, but now making me part of your event, which is fantastic. So I look forward to growing alongside you, and thank you for being part of the team.
Well, thank you. And it was a pleasure to have you.
Yes. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you for listening to this interview hosted by Randy Goodman. We hope you will take action and connect with the incredible business people and leaders in our community. And remember, Randy is always here to answer any questions you have regarding your real estate needs. Be sure to register on the website and stay up to date on what's happening in your area at parkbench.com/millpond.